Hi everyone, this is Moni Singh and welcome to Teaching STEM. Planning out your STEM classes, they involve a lot of moving parts. Figuring out the activities, writing out the lesson plans, trying them out yourself, making sure it will connect, gathering all the materials, managing inventory, including figuring out how and where are you going to put any of these half-built models, when kids come in and they start doing something in one class and they haven't quite finished it. What do you with those? So figuring out all the space requirements surrounding that. Um, you have to think about the extensions, customizations. Maybe you have an advanced group of children in your entire classroom. How do you make sure that they stay engaged, whereas other people are still kind of working on certain activities? So thinking about the differentiations based on children's abilities, ensuring everything is aligned with educational standards, right? And at the end of the day, you want to make sure that kids are learning something along with, engaging with these topics. And you're figuring out ways how you want to demonstrate the value to all the stakeholders involved, right? Whether it's your principal, um, other peers in the group, even keeping the parents engaged, right? Letting them know what's happening and what their child has been creating or have been learning. All of that, it becomes part of this whole aspect of providing your STEM programs. And not to forget that if you are trying to coordinate and maybe have some local speakers, you want to really showcase some real life STEM careers for your students, and you want to coordinate with the local people who do STEM, and you want to bring them on as guest speakers or do some kind of a show and tell activity for them. Um, so it's a lot, right? It's a lot. And now, if I just look at one dimension, we talked about writing lessons, and that in itself, in the context of STEM, becomes very involved by itself, because the world of STEM is moving so fast. If you look at all the different kinds of skill sets that are part of STEM, right? I mean, the acronym STEM, it's so broad, and now there are so many different kinds of skill sets. And I was looking into a research done by Brookings Institute, and they actually did analyze thousands and thousands of jobs to look at the different STEM skills. And they found that more than 170 or something computer science skills involved, hundreds of engineering skills, hundreds of life sciences, social skills. So there's a lot of skills involved when it comes to STEM in itself. And the other thing that we all know, because we're living this in this world, is that things are becoming changing at such a fast pace. Concepts that we may have been thinking about just a few years ago are now quite obsolete. And so when you are dealing with something that's moving so fast, now how do you keep track as an educator of what's happening in this industry? And so you can keep researching and figuring out, okay, what are the core concepts that we need to bring to the child's level, have the children engage with that, writing lessons surrounding that. So this whole lesson planning becomes a kind of a big task in itself. And now, and to add to that, if you're working with multiple grades, which many of us do, as being providing STEM programs, you have to do all of those things for all these different grade levels. So I know, it's like you're dealing with a lot of things that's going at the same time. And when we are running so fast, trying to juggle so many different things, there's just not much bandwidth available to think further. And I get it. And I get it. So here is the way to really think when you're thinking and planning out your STEM activities. There are times when you have to stop and pause in your own thought process. Instead of thinking, how am I going to do something? Think about who can help me, not how, who. For some questions, it's very important for you to be thinking who, not how. So, and it is so important because we get mired in so many different things moving around that we sometimes forget about that core goal that we're marching towards, right? So, as an educator, I want to make sure that we are providing the best experiences for the children, that they are getting the best experience when we are with them in the classroom, that they are receiving what they need to know, so they are engaging with the activities, they're engaging with the learning that's being provided, and they are being given this holistic view around how the STEM pictures work, what they are, how it can impact their own careers, what's the so what of learning certain concepts. So focusing on that experience for the child, right? So are there certain tasks that you're engaged in that you can really kind of pull yourself out from by engaging experts? Think about it. I mean, in this world today, almost anything, any problem that you're struggling with, there are people who have done it, people who know how to do it, and they know how to do it much faster, more efficiently, and more effectively than what you could do. And so it's very important that for some of those things, you start thinking, who are those experts out there? Bring them on, leverage their expertise instead of trying to figure out the answer for each and every how. It's very important, and we oftentimes forget about it and put everything, the entire burden of doing it, all on our shoulders. You don't have to go alone. And look at the experts in your field. Again, just look at the evolution of humankind, right? We began being hunter gatherers to becoming farmers. And there was, as societies developed, right, people start saying that not everybody has to go and farm or figure out the next meal. There are some people who can focus on that, but then there are other people who can start specializing, right? Getting into arts, perhaps figuring out how to make better homes, figuring out how to get ornaments, and all the other wonderful things. And that's how we developed. So you do not have to do everything by yourself. Figure out the experts, take that expertise and use that, leverage that so you can go forward towards your goal of engaging with the children, giving them the best experiences and giving them those learning, the excitement, the motivation that they need to keep propelling forward with their own careers. STEM is massive, and remember, you don't have to do it all alone. Okay, so very important. Look for experts in your field, people who may have. So think about the lesson plans, right? There are experts out there who have done lessons already. Are there some lessons that you can bring to the table and use them for the children? So keep thinking like that. So in some cases, who is the right question to ask, not how.